So now we're going to see the second half of this. That was about Elijah Muhammad. Now today he's going to speak on the other message that he has on. You see the name right there, the scandalous speech by Minister Farrakhan against the great prophet himself, Malcolm X. The question we must ask is, why do they assassinate men who are talking about peace? It doesn't matter whether it's a white man, black man, green man, Arab man, or even so, interplanetary beings that come here to speak of peace. Why are speaking the truth and the knowledge and the light, why are they all being assassinated by these people? It's the same reason that many people are voting Democrat. Now, if you spell the word Democrat, it is not ironic in the etymology of the word that you would find the word demon crab. You know what I'm saying? By simply just adding an N and an F to the word Democrat, you come up with the word demon crab. And it's not ironic that one of the most wickedest diseases amongst the, the many that they put out, you know what I'm saying, as we see now within people, you know what I'm saying, has the same name as the laboratory in which it came from, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? In the trickery garbage of Mr. Anthony Nutcase's twisted funk nut idiot Ponchi, you know what I'm saying, the genocidal maniac, we should call him, the Mr. Depopulation, you know, it is not ironic that the same name comes out of the laboratory in which he came through when Nixon hired him. NIAID. Remove the N and the I, what do you have? Okay, but anyway, in itself, today we're going to come with PBNN, Point Black National News, the latest and great edition, the ghetto edition as well. You know what I'm saying? Coming with the flow from the barrio and the heat from the street, and the boom big to the lion ass lips, and the facts to crack them backs, because this is what we must do. This is PBNN, Point Black National News, the latest and the great edition. Bringing in the great general again to drop that knowledge as it goes. Because like I said before, and I'll say it again, sometimes, you know, sitting on the battlefield, and all the time, and most of the times, and all the time, the general sets the stage. So, without further ado, let's let the general do some talking and consult the troops on the battlefield as to where our minds should be. It's important that we understand that as to where our minds should be. So, in itself, we're going to look at that. I know we're not going to drop a comment right now, but we're going to let the general speak. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just as important as we see. So let's make sure we're rolling, get ourselves together as we see. Okay, so we're good. Without further ado, let the general speak.
Family, everybody knows Seti popping on Patreon, BPC making noise. We never come. You feel me? We fight for African revolution, any and everywhere we at, everywhere we go. And so, family, you know, Patreon is the lecture hall of the BPC. Over 500 exclusive live streams, never to be seen on any other platform. The hardest, most fiery Patreon page out there. You should become a patron today, get access, and then you get a chance to see the general go live, and that's the main thing. You see what I'm saying? Cassetti Live is lit. All the family out there donate to the general. I thank you. I appreciate the the fact you appreciate me. Any of the family out there would like to donate to the general hard work we put down over here. Link is in the video description. It's in the chat. Click that link, donate. I thank you ahead of time. Make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels, King Seti, General Seti, Sarasun Seti. Rock that notification bell. Get a video a thumbs up. Like it because you love it. Share with your family and friends. And comment. Just don't say nothing stupid because I will ban your ass. That's right, family. We in the house. We got another fiery one. I know it's gonna bring a lot of emotions out. A lot of emotions. They talking about that new evidence has come out in regards to, the murder of our shining Black Prince, El Hajj El Malik Shabazz, brother Omar Wally, brother Malcolm X, saying that 2 of his security teams were detained, arrested a week before his murder, and saying and people are speculating that this was, to have those who would really protect him out of the way so that this murder could be carried out without any protection for Malcolm or any of that, making it easier for him to be murdered. And you know what? It's a shame. It's a shame that even to this day, we are still trying to figure out what happened to Malcolm X. I'm gonna tell you this, and I always, because I want to honor Malcolm X, in what I know of. I didn't live while, matter of fact, I believe Malcolm died the year I was born. I believe so. You see, 72. I believe Malcolm died the year I was born. I believe so. I had to go back and check. You see, but, as I started to get into the culture, I was reading books and, and everything, but, and before I got to, that's right, he died before me. That's right. I don't know what made me. Yeah, he died what did he die? 65, that's right. Yeah, so he died 7 years before. I don't even know what made me. I was on, this speech that I'm about to give was actually, I believe this speech that I'm a Farrakhan might have been in 72. But anyway, when I started getting into the culture, I was reading Dr. Ben. I hadn't even met Dr. Ben yet. My uncle was going overseas with Dr. Ben, but I hadn't even met Dr. Ben. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think I had even, I would listen to Dr. Ben only with my uncle, because I didn't even have none of his tapes. So when I ride with my uncle, he always had Dr. Ben in. That's all he played was lectures. You know what I'm saying? So and so, as I began to broaden my horizons, Farrakhan was actually the first person that I would listen to, because he was still on the radio at that time, and I believe it was on AM. You see, yeah, that's right, 65. I was thinking about this lecture that Farrakhan gave. It was 72 on the video, which took my mind, a different direction. But I used to run home, man, because when hip hop first came in, a lot of the 5%ers and all of that, connected, and they would mention Farrakhan, and so what? My uncle was a Muslim. One of my other uncle, Rashid, was a Muslim, and he would be listening to Farrakhan. And so I say, damn, what's that? He gave me the AM station, and man, he would, Farrakhan would come on the radio Fridays. You see what I'm saying? Right around like 6 o'clock. And man, I don't give a goddamn where I was. I get home, and that's back. You still had cassette tapes and shit. I put my, I'm recording. You know what I'm saying? I got all my tapes, and I'm starting to collect tapes, and yeah, and I was, I was listening. That was a part of my ritual. That was a part of my development, And as I start, and I was listening to Farrakhan and.
Recently, you may have noticed billionaires buying up land all across America. Raw land, farm.
I'm making this quick video because it has been 1 month since joining the Cashflow 101 system. And so what I wanted to do.
Farrakhan and
Pay the bills.
I was able to get my hands on some Malcolm X tapes. You know what I'm saying? The Malcolm X movie came out. Spike Lee and and so I was going to the bookstores and whatnot, and I seen that they had made like a little like five or six of Malcolm X greatest speeches, and it was it was in a little in a case, and I said, oh, I got to have that, and so I bought that, and it had message to the grassroots, Ballad of the Bullet, and I think it was 2 of his other speeches. You see what I'm saying? It was more than that, but those were 2. And man, listen to me. After I heard, thank you, family. After I heard. Yeah. I was just looking at what the family was saying. After I heard of Malcolm X, man, I was like, whoa. I ain't gonna even lie. I say, wait a minute. Yeah, Malcolm was like, you know what I'm saying? Malcolm was profoundly, I wasn't no more than 18 years old. I knew who the man was. When I heard him the first time, I said, oh, Malcolm is the truth. And so from that moment, man, as a teacher, man, I fell in love with Malcolm X. I ain't gonna lie. He was profoundly, for real, my first teacher. I can just say that. You know what I'm saying? He was my first teacher that I gravitated towards, and I would listen to them speeches almost every day. Every day, man, for years, man. I was just message to the grassroots, Ballad of the Bullet. I couldn't stop playing it over and over and over and over. But that year when that movie came out, the controversy came up. Yeah. The controversy came up, and about the death of Malcolm X, and Farrakhan's name came up. It was a lot of talk about it. And when I found out that his name was implicated in the death of Malcolm X, I was troubled, man. I was seriously troubled. You know what I'm saying? I say, what? How did and so, and then I say, you know what? I got to do some goddamn research. And I heard a speech from Farrakhan. And when I heard him speak, and I'm going to play some of this for you today. I say, you know what? I'm done with that nigga. You see what I'm saying? I'm done with him. Anybody that could be implicated in the death of Malcolm X, I can't fuck with you. And I didn't need nobody else you know, you know, say don't, no, it was my own nature. You see what I'm saying? It was my own nature that told me, you know what, you can't fuck with this man no more. Straight up. You see what I'm saying? Cause Malcolm was like a prophet. You know what I'm saying? You didn't hear when you hear Farrakhan, and I'm just gonna tell you this. He always tries to boost himself up. You know what I'm saying? I'm this. I'm that. I was sent and to guide the people and do all this. You ain't even hear Malcolm teach. Like Malcolm was teaching black power. He did not boost himself up. He didn't do none of that. He just taught truth, black power. You see what I'm saying? He didn't do what Farrakhan did. So when you get Farrakhan, a lot of that be some old grandiose, grandizing, and you know what I'm saying? And when I heard Malcolm, it was just pure teaching. None of that. He didn't elevate himself or nothing. Just pure teaching. And I understood right there, that's the master right there. You see? And when I seen that he didn't have no ego as far as trying to boost himself up like that, I'm thinking to myself, like, why would they try to kill Malcolm X, man? It's something ain't right with that. It just something ain't right with that. And so, man, we had these old Muhammad speaks. I remember as a young guy, you know what I'm saying? I was 18, and my peoples used to be a part of the Nation of Islam when Elijah Muhammad was in. My great-grandmother, great-grandfather, they were black Muslims. My uncle, my father's brother, he was a black Muslim. Then on my mama's side, one of my other uncles, Carl, was a black Muslim. Then Rashid was in, he was a part of the Nation of Islam when Elijah. And so, it was a lot of old Muhammad speaks. They was always there. And I hadn't even bothered to read them so much until I started really studying. And so I went and I started looking through the magazines, and I opened up one, and it had Malcolm X. It had his head cut off with some horns on it, and it was like it was bouncing down the street. I say, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? And so, that disturbed me. Real talk. It just disturbed me. And so, I say, you know what? I just, I kind of I put the Nation of Islam to the side. You know what I'm saying? I really wasn't trying to be a member, but my first understanding that they was for our people. So I'm going to study to see what they all about. And so, yeah, but in my study in the history, too much of that shit was beyond my reasoning. I couldn't believe some of that, I couldn't believe some of all them goddamn fairy tales that they were. So I didn't gravitate to it so much. I respected the black man is God. I respected how you eat and how be stand up. I respected that aspect, but many of them stories I couldn't fuck with. And so I knew it wasn't gonna be my primary, program of which I was gonna develop in. I knew that. You know what I'm saying? I still understood that the Nile Valley, but I hadn't touched Doc yet. I was about to touch Doc. You know what I'm saying? I was about to get over there, and I did. You see, and so I started doing more research to see if what is really going on with the death of Malcolm X. How did this happen?